Cobra Kai is back, baby. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris and welcome back to another video. So today I've got my review of Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1. All 5 episodes of this first part are now streaming on Netflix. And this is a season that's 15 episodes. It's the final season and it's split into 3 parts, so we'll have to wait until November 28th, Thanksgiving here in the US, to see the next part of the season. There'll be no spoilers in this video, but before I dive into this and give you guys my thoughts, be sure to hit that like button and comment down below your thoughts on the first part of this season. Subscribe to that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot. And stay tuned for my reaction to all 5 episodes of Part 1 dropping on YouTube this week. I'll have my full reactions on my Patreon, and I have commentary tracks for the first season of Cobra Kai on my Patreon as well. So if you want extra exclusive content to go the extra mile and support me, Patreon is the place to be. So when it comes to Cobra Kai, I started the show in the fall of 2022 and did a reaction series here on YouTube, which you guys haven't watched, I will link up above. I watched through all 50 episodes, had a blast, met so many awesome people through this fandom, and have grown to love this show. I've even gone to various Comic-Cons to meet the cast. It's definitely one of my favorite shows, and with it being the final season, it's undeniably bittersweet. I'm a lot newer to the fandom than a lot of other people out there, but I still have grown so fond of this show, and it's a shame I only get to watch this one final season live. But with that being said, Season 6, you break it up into 3 parts. Is Part 1 any good? Does it feel like its own season? Let's talk about the pros. And honestly, the majority of this video will be pros, which should tell you something. When I hit play on that first episode, you guys will see this in my reaction, I was like, we are so back within the first few minutes, because this season immediately oozes the classic Cobra Kai vibes, the Cobra Kai feeling. It doesn't miss a beat when compared to the other seasons. Every actor is able to immediately step right back into their roles, and you can just tell the creators put so much care into this final season because they deeply love the source material, which is the Karate Kid trilogy, and that's shown through all seasons. That is no exception in this final one so far. Like, my biggest concern coming into the final season was the fact that it was split into 3 parts. I was really worried that Part 1 at least would feel inconsequential, maybe even really slow moving just to get us to the meat of the season. That is not the case. Every single episode in Part 1 is packed with meaningful character moments and action sequences. They're not holding back in the fights this final season. They're going big with the fights. It's just a taste of what's to come, and there's legitimately a standout fight sequence in every episode so far. It's evident that Jon Hurwitz, one of the creators, his comments that he made about this final season being 3 distinct mini-seasons rings true. Again, I can't emphasize that enough. We got 5 episodes and I feel fed. I'll talk more about that later. Something I really appreciate about this final season is how this late in the game, 6 seasons in, we're still able to have fresh, new, exciting character groupings or duos. In this case, I'm not going to say who I'm referring to. You guys might be able to see in my reaction videos if you watch those when they come out. But one duo in particular is like the unlikeliest pairing if you go back to the early seasons, and they're probably my favorite duo of the season so far. Then you've got characters who've had their beef or just grown so much since the early seasons. They've matured as people and they're able to come together, form a bond, and have some really sweet moments in this final season. It's just so rewarding as a viewer to see over the course of all these seasons, all these characters progress, evolve, and change for the better, put their differences aside and work together, and it's truly beautiful. It's the most rewarding part of being a fan of this show in my mind, is that from the early seasons to now, the creators have cared so much that their arcs are being beautifully done, and I'm really excited to see how they stick the landing for many of these characters in the final season. Speaking of that, with this being the final season, it's not just big spectacle in-your-face action. In these first 5 episodes, there's still so much time devoted to character grouping, splitting up and doing these little random things, whether that's house hunting or college searching. Characters are able to go off, do their own thing, and set up their conclusion post-Sekai Taikai, because in this final season, there is this looming presence that is the Sekai Taikai. We know we're going to the global scale, but we also are able to settle some drama in the valley, so the season's able to juggle that really well so far. You go from discussions of drama in the valley to this global scale that is the Sekai Taikai, and we're building up to that for sure, but it's still able to resolve the issues at home first and even set up things that are going to be waiting on characters when they get back from the Sekai Taikai. And speaking of the good old Sekai Taikai, everyone so far has been given clear-cut motivations and reasons to want to win this thing, and the way they structure Part 1 around the build-up to the Sekai Taikai is so well done, but because of the way they're trying to assemble the best squad to bring over to the Sekai Taikai, things are interesting. There's some internal drama, and there were some enthralling, edge-of-your-seat moments in these first 5 eps, and we haven't even gone to the global scale yet. I can't even imagine what they have in store for us in the next 2 parts. But it's impressive, though, because we care so much about various characters. We want everyone to win, right? But I found myself flip-flopping with who I was rooting for in certain instances, and who I will be rooting for when the time rolls around. There's some intense conflict here as a viewer, but also between characters, which just makes it all the more entertaining to watch. The comedy of Cobra Kai has always been a staple, and that works here. Gianni has tons of one-liners that'll get you laughing out loud, but I actually found it interesting that so many supporting characters throughout all of Cobra Kai have already had some time to shine. I won't say who, but there are some scenes here that got me laughing pretty good, and they aren't even like mainstay characters of the show making appearances. So again, harkening back to how the creators have paid so much care, love, and attention to detail to the Karate Kid trilogy, but also the previous seasons of Cobra Kai, that rings true here absolutely. And again, I have a real good feeling they're going to stick the landing. When it comes to the performances, they're great across the board. Like I said many times, everyone steps right back into their role. But there's one standout performance I have to highlight. That of Peyton List, who plays Tory Nichols. In the 5th episode, which is the season finale of part 1, I guess, she's out of this world. Truly an incredible performance, really impressed me. She was able to show her range. That is like the clear standout performance to me so far. And the soundtrack bangs as always. You'll see that literally in the opening scene of this season. It got my blood going. In my reaction video, I was fist pumping. I was like, we're back. Cobra Kai has never been more back. From the first Karate Kid to all of Cobra Kai, Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso have had beef, and though they've been able to put aside their differences many times and work together, they always have something that seems to get in the way. And I really do appreciate that no matter how many times they seem to put their differences aside and work together, they always are going to have some disagreements, but they're able to settle at times. And that's a really nice balance with these two characters that we've seen over the course of the show. And season 6 really has gone into that idea of balance, a common theme throughout all of Cobra Kai, and it's applicable to our life. We have to have, work-life balance, or else we're going to go crazy. Johnny and Daniel got to find that balance to be able to be the best senseis they can be. It just feels special with it being the final season. And one big thing that stands out in season 6, the creators are not afraid to challenge what we thought we knew about certain characters. Like, we're talking getting into the territory of new lore for the entire Karate Kid universe, and their ability to reframe what we thought we knew about characters and allow us to see this world through a new lens is really impressive, especially this late in the game, and it works. I could go on, and if you want more spoilery, in-depth details, then definitely stay tuned for my reaction series to the first 5 episodes of part 1, dropping throughout the rest of the week into the weekend. I watch the episode, you guys see my immediate reaction, and at the end I sort of do a spoiler review, so that's where I'll talk more spoilers, but that's pretty much all I have for the pros. Now when it comes to the cons, I don't have many. Just one plot line feels a little off to me, and I'll elaborate. It's my only notable gripe, and it's the John Kreese plotline. Look, I get it. Kreese has always been the over-the-top villain, but some moments here go full-on cartoonish, and it gets too far-fetched. Again, we're talking about John Kreese here. This is the guy at the end of season 5 who faked his own death in prison with Jello, so like, you kind of have to turn your brain off for that anyway, because it's hard to believe. But to me, especially in the 2nd episode, you guys will see my reaction, it got borderline laughable at times. Like, we'll have a scene in the valley where it's like, okay, this feels like Cobra Kai, and then boom, we'll cut to Kreese and who he's with. I won't reveal that. And the score will like boom, and it's such a drastic tonal shift that I'm like, man, this kind of takes me out ever so slightly. I know what they're building up to, so it's not a problem. I'm not actually truly bothered by it. I'm just saying, through these first 5 episodes, Kreese's plotline has been the clear weak link to me. Not a big deal at all, truly. He is the cartoonish 80s cheeseball villain, and that's never changed. That is consistent through all of Cobra Kai. It just feels like in season 6 with Kreese's plotline, it's by far the most unrealistic the show has gotten, especially with a certain character involved in Kreese's plotline. It's just like, a little bit too ridiculous, I'll say that. But through and through, Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1 kicks ass. I'm beyond pumped for Parts 2 and 3. It's just truly hard not to love Cobra Kai. Something I've always praised the show for is its rewatchability, and I've actually watched Part 2 twice. I was able to do so twice before this review, and I can assure you, it's still so easy to watch. The episodes are perfectly paced. I think the longest one is like 44 minutes. They fly by, but they're so packed with sweet character moments that pull on your heartstrings. It feels rewarding as a viewer at this point, as our characters have come so far. It handles drama in the valley while building up to the global scale, and it's action-packed. We are so back. I need Part 2 now. Season 6 is badass. ass. But what do you guys think of Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1? Let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you want to watch some extra exclusive content, including my full reactions to Season 6, you can do so on my Patreon. Again, stay tuned for my reaction to Cobra Kai Season 6, every single episode and an individual video coming this week. But thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, Cobra Kai never dies.